Hey guys, it's Ryan Stewart here, the licensing expert, and today I'm going to talk about contracts, a licensing contract to be more specific. And not only a licensing contract, but I'm going to throw out 3 things that you must have in a licensing contract so you don't get screwed from the licensee. Okay, that means the company. So there's 3 things in particular that you have to have in every licensing contract. And so let's get started. The first thing that you need in a licensing contract is called a performance clause. And what this is usually it's based off of some type of milestone on getting the product out into stores. So for example, you might have a performance clause that says that the licensee, the company, must have the product that you're licensing to them out into stores within X amount of time. Okay, so maybe you give them a year to get it out into stores, and if they don't, then they're in breach of contract and you're able to potentially get that license back. All right, so that's the first one. The reason that one's important is because if a company licenses your product and they decide, it's not a high priority on our list right now to get it into stores, well, then it's just wasting your time because you've spent a lot of time getting this product, to the point where it's able to get licensed. You're licensing it to a company, and then they make the decision to sit on it. And there's really nothing you can do about it if you don't have a performance clause. So make sure you have a performance clause. Step number 2, the second thing that's important, is going to be what we call a minimum guarantee. The minimum guarantee is important because it's similar to the performance clause in the fact that, so maybe they got it into stores, but then they're not pushing it very hard. They're not trying to sell it. And if they're not selling many of them, then you're not making much money from it. And your product is tied up because you have a licensing agreement with that company. So you want something in your contract that states that they have to meet certain numbers by certain amount of time. So for example, like first year, they agree to pay you a minimum of whatever, okay? 20,000, 30,000, 100,000, depends on the product and the projected sales. But some type of minimum. And if they don't meet that minimum, they have two choices at that point. What I mean by meet, if they don't sell that amount of product to pay you the minimum, then they have 2 choices. One, they can walk away from the license and they can give you back the license, or they can make the decision to pay you. So maybe you make your minimum at 20,000 and they only sell, enough product to pay you 18,000, but your minimum's 20,000, so that means they have a choice to walk away from it, give you back the license, or pay the additional 2,000 to make it 20,000 to meet the minimum and keep the product for another year. So that is that's a minimum guarantee. And third and finally, there's a lot of things in contracts that you should have, but these are the important ones. The third thing is what we call an improvements clause. An improvements clause means that if they make any improvements to your IP, your patent or your intellectual property, all right, so if they better your product, they don't own that advancement. You own the advancement. So basically any improvements upon your product that they've licensed, you own the rights to that. And that's important because if you license a product to them and they find a way to make it better, add more features to it, whatever it is, and then they go file for patents in that and they own those, and then let's say that something happens and you get the license back, but you don't own these improvements that made the product better. So it becomes a sticky situation. So I hope that helped, guys, and like always, if you enjoy this video, please like, please subscribe, and in addition to that, if you want to learn more about the licensing industry, if you have ideas in your head and you don't know what to do with them and you want to make money from them, then I recommend that you check out my free webinar training that I do. It's called Licensing Basics. You can go to licensingbasics.com and get registered for the next free webinar. You're going to learn a lot of information about the licensing industry. So thanks again, Ryan Stewart. See you later.